ICLI Seniors Eid event. Thank you so much for coming today. Me and Brother Talib will provide, Brother Talib is here with me today, and he's going to provide a program overview.
Thank you again. Today we have arranged a very short program. We will have an imam from Aisha Masjid. It's a new masjid in mosque, Mia Habib. He is a student scholar. He was just here and he did Tilawat al-Quran Pak. And after that, we will have a speech from him regarding the Eid and the Father's Day. After the speech, one of our very famous writer and director of our community, Jamal Mohsen, has written and directed a small sitcom. It's about 8 to 10 minutes. It will be good entertainment for the seniors. And then food will be served. I hope everybody will be enjoying this program. Now, I request Mia Habib to please come and say a few things about the Father's Day and the Eid al-Adha, and also I request him to pray for the people of Gaza. Thank you.
Assalamu Alaikum Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Thank you to respected Talib Hussain Saab, and Assalamu Alaikum to my elders. نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم صلى الله على حبيبه سيدنا محمد وآله وسلم. This is the month of Zul Hajj, which is where Hajj takes place, one of the months of Hajj, and Eid al-Adha. And Eid al-Adha has an immense significance in Islam. And I want to wander into the story that led to Eid al-Adha. As you know, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam is an ulul azm, which is a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Hazrat Ibrahim was a man of unwavering obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He had been put through so many tests by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he passed all those tests with A marks. He passed every single one of his tests. And one night he had a vision, he had a dream from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where his beloved son Ismail alayhi salam, the dream was shown that he would have to zibah his son or cut him on the throat. And this is not a normal dream like me and you have. This is a dream of the Anbiya alayhi salam, meaning that this is a divine command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Abraham alayhi salam was filled with both love for his son and a deep love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he shared this vision with Ismail alayhi salam, who at this time was only 9 years old. And Ismail alayhi salam, he said to his father, as seen in Surah Al-Safat, he said to his father, "O my father, do as you are commanded. You will find me if Allah wills of the steadfast." He did not say to his father, "Do as you please, my father." He said to his father, Ibrahim alayhi salam, "Do as you are commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." And he was only 9 years old at this time. So on that appointed day, Ibrahim alayhi salam took Ismail to Mount Arafat, and he prepared to carry out the task. But he heard a voice from Angel Jibreel. It said, "O Ibrahim, you have fulfilled the vision." And instead of Ismail alayhi salam being sacrificed, it was a ram that was put in the place. And this is the very act that we commemorate on Eid al-Adha. This was the biggest test of our Nabi Ibrahim alayhi salam. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he took the test of all the Anbiya. No other test surmounted to having to sacrifice your own son. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam was 88 at the time, and Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam was 9 years old at the time. When Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam ran the knife on his son's throat, it would have not cut. This is because what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not will never happen. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam was at a time where there was many people doing idol worship, and they were wanting vengeance against Ibrahim alayhi salam for spreading the truth. And so they built the biggest fire they could. They built a fire, and they threw Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam in the fire. And Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, he supplicated to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he made the fire cold. As you know, fire is so hot, and when Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam went in the fire, it was cold. And same thing, if he went a knife on his son's throat, it would have not cut because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not will it to cut. Not to shift away from Eid al-Adha, let's go into the traditions. Our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said the first thing we do on Eid al-Adha should be to offer our prayer and then we do the sacrifice. And whoever has done so has followed our sunnah. And then a man went up to our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and he said, what is this sacrifice? What is this qurbani that we do? And our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said to the man, this is the sunnah of your father Ibrahim alayhi salam. And then the man asked, what is there in it for us? And our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he answered, for every hair that is on the animal is a reward for yourself. And when you see a camel, a cow, a sheep, or a lamb, you see their hair, right? And it is countless. If I give you the entire day and I told you to come back to me with a number of the amount of hair a sheep or a camel had, you will not be able to give me an answer at the end of the day. So the amount of reward we get for the sacrifice animal is countless. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so merciful. Even so, the companions asked again, what about the wool that is on the animal, right? And wool, we know, hair you can count, is like our hair. We can see every individual strand, but wool, in one piece of wool, there's thousands of countless strands of wool. And our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, for every fiber of wool, for every fiber in that wool, there is a reward. And that just shows how merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. And to further showcase His mercy, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, when you sacrifice an animal, before their blood even reaches the ground, before even one drop of blood from the animal reaches the ground, your qurbani or your sacrifice is accepted. The thing, and also, we must remember, the thing that reaches Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not the blood or the meat from the animal. It is the taqwa that you have. Or piety, we say in English. In today's society, we see people gloating, right? They show up. They said, I gave this much in qurbani. I gave this much in zakah this year. But remember, whether you purchase $500 worth of qurbani, whether you purchase $1,000 worth of qurbani, or if you get $10,000 worth of qurbani, the thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the most, always, is the intention that you have. Taqwa is not to show others what you have, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at the pure and sincere intentions that we go into. Eid al-Adha is a time of charity and giving. We are meant to divide our sacrifice into three parts. One is for our families, one should be to our friends, distant relatives, and one part should be to the poor, the people, the less needy. They need one part of it. Eid al-Adha is a time of celebration. We dress in our finest clothes, we share delicious meals with our families, and we visit friends. But as we celebrate, let us remember the immense sacrifice and obedience that Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam had for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, I want to share that I was also requested to speak about Father's Day. And Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam, when Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam gave the vision to Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam, he said, my father, strap me down so tight, so in the time that when you have the knife on my throat, I cannot hesitate or move. And furthermore, he said, tie me away, tie my face looking away from you, so that you do not see my face and hesitate. And like this, Hazrat Ismail alayhi salam had so much respect for his father and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I want to share a verse in the Quran, in Surah Al-Asra. It says, and your Lord has decreed that you should not worship except Him, and to parents good treatment, whether one or both reach old age with you. Say not to them, uff, or do not repel them in such a way, and speak to them with noble words. And uff is universal in any language, English, Urdu, whatever language you speak. He's saying, even if your parents say anything, do not move your tongue against your parents' will. Just like Hazrat Ismail did not go against his father's wishes, go against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's wishes, we should not dare to go against our parents' wishes. Alright, please join me for dua. Ek dafa Surah Fatiha par le aur 3 dafa